The Lion in the Room. Overcoming Fear, Embracing Self-Awareness, and Building Charisma from Within. Published by Shelfie Publishing. Introduction. Meet the lion. Every one of us has a lion in the room. It's that looming presence we try not to notice, the truth about ourselves that we're not quite ready to face. Maybe it's a fear we keep buried, a part of ourselves we're hesitant to acknowledge, or a motivation we'd rather not explore too closely. But this lion doesn't go away simply because we ignore it. Instead, it shapes our actions, influences our decisions, and holds us back from the life we truly want. This book is about meeting that lion head-on. It's about discovering the deeper truths that drive your actions and learning to confront the fears that keep you from living fully and authentically. I wrote this book because, like you, I know what it's like to feel held back by uncertainty, self-doubt, or the fear of what might happen if I face my own uncomfortable truths. I also know the power that comes from stepping into that discomfort, finding the courage to see myself clearly, flaws and all, and moving forward with a confidence rooted in self-awareness and honesty. The lion represents more than just fear. It's the symbol of potential power. It's the very thing that, when faced, can transform self-doubt into true confidence and avoidance into purposeful action. It's this courage to face yourself that leads to authentic charisma, the kind of presence that attracts and inspires others because it's real and unwavering. The goal of this book is to guide you through a process of self-discovery, helping you find that courage within yourself and use it to overcome the barriers that have kept you from living fully. The Lion in the Room is not about telling you to simply be fearless. Instead, it's about equipping you with practical steps to understand your fears, confront them at your own pace, and ultimately use them as fuel for growth. Each chapter is designed to help you take small, manageable steps toward embracing who you truly are, without judgment or pressure to be perfect. By the end, you'll understand how to channel your newfound self-assurance into a natural, magnetic charisma that draws others to you. Not because you've put on a mask of confidence, but because you've embraced your authentic self. As you move through this journey, remember that the lion isn't here to scare you. It's here to help you grow. It's a reminder of the courage and strength that are already within you, waiting to be uncovered. So let's take this first step together, with an open mind and a willingness to see what's been hidden. Let's meet the lion. Chapter 1. Identifying the hidden motivators behind our actions. Every decision we make, every action we take, is guided by a network of unseen drivers, our hidden motivators. These motivators are subtle but powerful forces that shape how we move through the world. Often we aren't consciously aware of them, but they influence us deeply, impacting our choices, our habits, and even our relationships. To bring about real, lasting change in our lives, it's essential to recognize these hidden motivators, understand them, and see how they affect us. Let's start by defining what a hidden motivator is and why it holds so much power over us. Introduction to hidden motivators. Hidden motivators are the subconscious beliefs, fears, and desires that direct our actions. They form over time, shaped by our experiences, values, and often our anxieties. For example, a person who grew up in an environment where mistakes were met with criticism might develop a hidden motivator rooted in the fear of failure. This person might avoid taking risks or pursuing new opportunities, not because they aren't capable, but because their subconscious fear of making a mistake keeps them in a safe, controlled space. Other common hidden motivators include fear of rejection, avoiding situations where one might face criticism or judgment; desire for control, feeling compelled to manage every detail to feel secure; need for approval, seeking validation from others to feel worthy, fear of vulnerability, avoiding intimacy or honesty to protect oneself from potential hurt. Each of these motivators can influence us in different ways. They operate silently, nudging us towards certain actions and away from others. By becoming aware of them, we can start making choices that align with our true selves, rather than being led by subconscious fears. The role of hidden motivators in our daily lives. These hidden motivators might seem subtle, but they show up persistently in our day-to-day decisions. They're behind the small, reflexive actions we take and the bigger, life-altering choices we make. Imagine a person who, despite being qualified and ambitious, avoids speaking up in meetings or asking for a promotion. It's likely that there's a hidden motivator, perhaps the fear of judgment, that's keeping them quiet. Or consider someone who constantly procrastinates on a project, even if it's something they care about. Beneath that procrastination could be a hidden fear of failure or even success, making them hesitate to move forward. These motivators often shape our lives in ways we don't fully understand. We may wonder why we avoid certain situations or hold back in specific areas, unaware of the beliefs driving those behaviors. Recognizing these motivators allows us to start rewriting these patterns and opens us to new possibilities. Exercise. The 5 whys. To start uncovering your own hidden motivators, try an exercise called the 5 whys. This exercise is a simple yet powerful tool that helps you dig deeper into the reasons behind a behavior. Here's how it works. Identify a recurring behavior you'd like to understand better. This could be something like avoiding social situations, delaying a project, or feeling anxious about expressing your opinion. Ask yourself why 5 times, each time responding with the first thing that comes to mind. Each why should explore the answer you gave previously, helping you go deeper into your motivations. Example of the 5 whys in action. Let's say you're a person who hesitates to share your ideas in group settings, even when you know your perspective could be valuable. Here's how the exercise might look. Why do I hold back from speaking up? Because I'm worried people might judge my ideas. Why am I worried about being judged? Because if people disagree or criticize me, I feel uncomfortable and start to doubt myself. Why does disagreement or criticism make me doubt myself? Because I often feel like I'm not as knowledgeable as others in the room. Why do I feel like I'm less knowledgeable? Because I tend to focus on what I don't know rather than what I do know. Why do I focus on what I don't know? Because I'm afraid that if I don't have all the answers, people won't respect my opinion. Through this exercise, you might discover that the underlying motivator isn't about others judging you. It's actually about your own fear of not having all the answers. By identifying this fear, you've taken the first step toward understanding how it influences your actions. Now, it's your turn to try. Take a few minutes to write down a behavior you'd like to explore, then go through the 5 whys, letting your answers flow naturally. There are no wrong answers here. This exercise is simply a tool to help you uncover the deeper beliefs that may be guiding your choices. Reflection. Recognizing patterns. Once you've completed the 5 whys exercise, look back at your answers. Do you notice any patterns? Are certain fears or beliefs showing up repeatedly? You might see themes related to seeking control, avoiding failure, or wanting approval. Remember, these motivators aren't inherently good or bad. They're just part of the map of your inner world. Recognizing them is a huge step forward, because what we can see, we can eventually change. Awareness is the foundation for growth, and you're building that awareness right now by acknowledging these hidden motivators. Moving forward with awareness. Awareness of your hidden motivators is powerful, but it's only the beginning. Change doesn't happen overnight, and this book isn't about instantly fixing everything that comes up. Instead, think of this awareness as a new lens through which you view your actions. Each time you notice one of these motivators showing up, pause and reflect. For example, if you're about to stay silent in a situation where you'd like to speak up, remember the exercise and what you learned about your fear of judgment or desire for control. Awareness gives you the power to choose a different response, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Identifying your hidden motivators is a journey that doesn't end here. As you move through this book, you'll continue uncovering these drivers and learning how to respond to them with greater strength and clarity. Remember, it's okay if some of these realizations feel unsettling at first. Change begins with understanding, and the more we know about ourselves, the more empowered we are to grow. In the next chapter, we'll explore the roots of fear in more detail, helping you understand why certain truths feel so uncomfortable to face. This awareness will help you build the resilience you need to confront these fears and transform them into opportunities for personal growth. Embrace this process with compassion and patience. Every step you take brings you closer to the self-assurance and confidence you're seeking. Chapter 2. Understanding the Roots of Fear. Fear has a way of sneaking into our lives, shaping our decisions, and keeping us from stepping fully into our potential. Often we aren't even fully aware of the fears that influence us. They're hidden just beneath the surface, manifesting as avoidance, self-doubt, or hesitation. To truly confront our lion in the room, we need to understand the roots of these fears. Where do they come from? Why do they have so much power over us? And how can we start to unravel them? In this chapter, we'll explore how our fears are formed, how they impact our behavior, and how we can begin facing them. Rather than seeing fear as something to be ashamed of or ignored, we'll treat it as a clue, an indicator of where we need to grow. Let's start by understanding where these fears originate, where fear comes from. Fear is a natural and universal human experience. It has protected us for centuries, helping our ancestors avoid danger and survive in a world full of threats. But while fear was essential for survival in the past, today it often shows up in less obvious ways. We're no longer running from wild animals, but our minds and bodies still respond to perceived threats, whether that's public speaking, the possibility of failure, or even opening up emotionally. Our fears are influenced by a combination of factors. Early experiences. Many of our core fears are formed in childhood, when we're learning about the world and our place in it. If we experienced criticism, rejection, or unpredictability, we may develop fears around failure or judgment. Cultural and social influences. Society often teaches us to fear certain outcomes, like failure or being different. These cultural messages can shape our beliefs about what is safe or acceptable. Personal experiences and trauma. Significant events, especially those involving pain or rejection, can create lasting fears. For instance, a difficult breakup might lead to a fear of vulnerability in future relationships. These fears become ingrained in our subconscious, guiding our actions without us even realizing it. They create a comfort zone that feels safe, but often keeps us from reaching our full potential. Common fears and how they show up. While everyone's fears are unique, there are some common ones that many of us share. Let's take a look at a few of the most common fears and how they might subtly, or not so subtly, show up in our lives. Fear of failure. This fear often drives perfectionism or procrastination. Instead of risking mistakes, we may hold back on pursuing opportunities or take extra time to perfect our work. Fear of rejection or judgment. People who fear rejection often struggle with expressing themselves openly. They might avoid taking risks in relationships or avoid speaking up in groups. Fear of vulnerability. This fear can make it difficult to open up to others or trust people fully. It often stems from past experiences where vulnerability led to hurt or betrayal. Fear of success. While it may seem counterintuitive, some people fear success because it can bring new expectations or responsibilities. This fear may lead them to hold back or sabotage their own progress. When we identify and understand these fears, we can begin to address them in a way that feels safe and manageable. Awareness is the first step in loosening their hold over us. The Fear Journal. One of the best ways to start understanding your fears is by observing them in real time. For this exercise, you'll keep a fear journal for a few days. Each time you notice yourself avoiding something, feeling anxious or hesitating, jot down what you're feeling and what triggered it. Over time, patterns will start to emerge, giving you a clearer view of your specific fears and how they show up in your life. Start by noting the situation. What were you doing or thinking about when the fear came up? Describe your thoughts and physical reactions. Were you worried about something specific, like failure or judgment? Did you feel a knot in your stomach, a racing heart, or a sense of dread? Reflect on the possible root of this fear. Ask yourself if this fear feels familiar, or if it reminds you of any past experiences. Don't force it. Just write down anything that comes to mind. Example of a fear journal entry. Situation: preparing for a work presentation. Thoughts and reactions. I started to feel anxious as soon as I began rehearsing. My heart was racing, and I kept thinking, what if I mess up? What if they don't like my ideas? Possible route. I remember feeling the same way in college whenever I had to present. I was once criticized in front of the class, and I felt embarrassed. This fear of being judged has stuck with me. By writing down your thoughts and reactions, you'll start to see which fears are most prominent in your life. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in facing them. Reflection. Reframing fear as a guide. Fear often gets a bad reputation, but it's not necessarily a negative force. In fact, fear can act as a guide, pointing us toward areas where we need to grow. When we feel resistance or hesitation, it usually means there's something meaningful at stake. Reframing fear as a signpost rather than a roadblock can shift our relationship with it. Think about the areas in your life where fear consistently shows up. Are these areas also tied to something you care about? For instance, if you feel nervous before sharing your ideas, it may indicate that you value expressing yourself and want to be heard. If you fear failure, it could mean you deeply care about success and personal growth. By viewing fear in this way, we start to see it as a natural and even useful part of our journey. Fear isn't something we need to get over or fix. It's something we need to understand and work with. Moving forward, small steps toward facing fear. Facing fear doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing endeavor. In fact, taking small, consistent steps is often the most effective approach. Here are a few strategies for gradually working with your fears. Expose yourself. Gradually, if you have a fear of public speaking, start by practicing with a close friend or in front of a mirror. Small, controlled exposures help you build confidence without overwhelming yourself. Challenge negative thoughts. When fear-based thoughts arise, question their accuracy. For example, if you're worried about failure, remind yourself of times when you succeeded or handled setbacks well. Visualize success. Take a few moments to imagine yourself successfully navigating the situation you fear. Picture yourself confident and calm, and try to embody that feeling. Acknowledge your progress. Facing fears is difficult, so give yourself credit for each small step you take. Acknowledge the courage it takes to step outside your comfort zone, even if it feels like a minor victory. Understanding the roots of your fear is essential to overcoming it. By exploring where these fears come from, observing how they show up, and reframing them as guides rather than roadblocks, you begin to change the way they affect you. The more you understand your fears, the less control they have over you. In the next chapter, we'll explore specific strategies for confronting uncomfortable truths head-on, giving you practical tools to build the courage you need to face the lion in the room. This journey isn't about eliminating fear. It's about learning to walk alongside it, using it as a source of insight and growth. Chapter 3. Confronting the Lion. Steps to Facing Uncomfortable Truths. By now, you've started to identify your hidden motivators and understand the roots of your fears. This is a huge step forward, but it's only the beginning. Recognizing what holds us back is essential, but to make real progress, we need to face these fears head-on. We need to confront the lion in the room. You might be wondering how to approach something as intimidating as a fear or long-held belief. It can feel overwhelming to tackle these aspects of ourselves that we've avoided for so long. The good news, you don't have to do it all at once. In this chapter, we're going to break down the process into manageable steps. Think of this as a guide for gradually building your courage and confidence, one small step at a time. Step 1. Start with self-compassion. Before diving into any action, let's set the foundation: compassion. Confronting uncomfortable truths requires self-kindness. It's natural to feel frustrated or even embarrassed about certain fears or past choices, but remember that these responses are part of being human. They're common, and they don't define you. Embracing a compassionate attitude helps you approach these fears without judgment. Imagine you're comforting a friend who's scared or unsure. How would you speak to them? Chances are you'd be patient, encouraging, and supportive. That's exactly how I want you to treat yourself as you move forward. You're not here to beat yourself up or fix anything. You're here to grow. Approach this process with patience and curiosity. Step 2. Break down the fear into smaller parts. Big fears often seem insurmountable because we look at them as a whole. If your fear is public speaking, for example, you might envision yourself standing on a stage in front of hundreds of people, with every eye on you. No wonder it feels overwhelming. The key here is to break down that large fear into smaller, manageable parts. Here's how. Identify a specific scenario. Instead of thinking about public speaking in general, narrow it down to something like giving a short update in a team meeting. List the elements that cause anxiety. Ask yourself what specifically makes you nervous. Is it the fear of forgetting your points? Worry about people judging you? Pinpointing these elements helps you address each one individually. Take the first small step. Once you've identified a smaller part of the fear, choose a small, achievable action to confront it. For example, you might start by practicing in front of a mirror or with a close friend. Small steps like these make the fear feel less daunting and help you build confidence gradually. Let's be clear, this isn't about jumping in the deep end. You're not going from zero to a big stage in one go. Instead, you're slowly familiarizing yourself with aspects of the fear in a way that feels manageable. Step 3. Challenge your fear-based thoughts. Our minds can be both our biggest allies and our toughest critics. Often the fears we carry are amplified by the stories we tell ourselves. You might think, "I'll embarrass myself if I speak up," or "People will think I'm incompetent if I make a mistake." These thoughts are common, but they're not necessarily accurate. One effective way to deal with these thoughts is to question their validity. Here are a few questions you can ask yourself when fear-based thoughts arise. Is this absolutely true? Sometimes just asking this question is enough to break the hold of a fearful thought. For example, are you really certain that others will judge you harshly? Or is this an assumption based on past experiences? What evidence do I have? Look for real proof that supports or refutes your thoughts. If you fear failure, think about times when you've tried something new and succeeded, or at least learned something valuable. What's the worst that could happen? This question can be eye-opening. Often we imagine the worst-case scenario without thinking it through. Once you do, you may find that it's not as catastrophic as you initially thought. Taking a moment to challenge your thoughts won't eliminate fear altogether, but it can lessen its grip. And over time, these small challenges to your thinking build resilience. Step 4. Use visualization to see success. Visualization is a powerful tool used by athletes, performers, and successful individuals in all fields. It's about creating a mental picture of yourself succeeding in the very situation you fear. When we visualize success, we're rehearsing for it mentally, building confidence, and preparing our minds to handle the real thing. Here's a simple way to practice visualization. Close your eyes and relax. Take a few deep breaths, letting your body relax. Picture the scenario in detail. Imagine the setting, the people around you, and the action you're about to take. For instance, if you're visualizing a presentation, see yourself at the front of the room, calm and in control. Focus on positive feelings. Picture yourself succeeding. Visualize feeling confident, hearing positive responses, or simply knowing you did your best. Try to hold on to that feeling of accomplishment and pride. Repeat regularly. The more you visualize yourself handling a situation with confidence, the more familiar it will feel, and the more likely you are to experience it positively in real life. Visualization can't guarantee an exact outcome, but it prepares your mind to respond more calmly and confidently. It's a practice that gets easier with time, and it's something you can do anytime you feel apprehensive. Step 5. Acknowledge and celebrate progress. As you start to take these small steps, it's crucial to acknowledge and celebrate every bit of progress. Facing fears is challenging work, and every step forward is an accomplishment worth recognizing. Here's the thing. Progress isn't always a straight line. There may be setbacks, days when you feel stuck, or times when you avoid the very things you're trying to confront. That's normal. What matters is that you keep coming back to the process, even if it's slower than you'd like. Celebrate the small wins. Maybe you spoke up in a meeting for the first time, or you managed to stay calm during a conversation that would normally make you anxious. These are victories. They're signs that you're moving closer to the confident, courageous person you're becoming. Consider keeping a small journal where you write down these wins. Over time, you'll have a record of your growth, something you can look back on whenever you need a reminder of how far you've come. Facing the lion in the room isn't about removing fear altogether. It's about building the courage to face it, understanding that fear will always be part of the journey. By taking small, actionable steps, challenging fear-based thoughts, and visualizing success, you're creating a new way of approaching uncomfortable truths. The more you practice these techniques, the more empowered you'll feel. As you continue this journey, remember that you're not alone. Fear is something everyone experiences, and each step you take toward confronting it is a step toward growth and self-assurance. In the next chapter, we'll explore how facing these truths can transform your sense of confidence and presence, creating a foundation for authentic charisma that resonates with others. The lion may feel intimidating, but it's also your guide. Embrace the process, celebrate each win, and remember, you are capable of more than you think. Chapter 4. The Charisma of Authenticity. Charisma. It's a word that conjures images of people who light up a room, who have a magnetic presence that draws others in. Charisma often seems like something mysterious, reserved for the lucky few who were born with it. But here's the truth. Charisma isn't about performing or pretending to be someone you're not. True charisma comes from being fully yourself, from embracing the qualities that make you unique. In the last few chapters, you've started to uncover hidden motivators and face some uncomfortable truths. You're already on the path to authentic confidence by understanding yourself more deeply and addressing the fears that have held you back. Now, we'll build on that foundation, showing you how self-awareness and self-acceptance lead naturally to a personal presence that feels magnetic. Charisma doesn't mean being loud, outgoing, or the center of attention. It simply means being comfortable in your own skin and connecting with others in a way that feels real and honest. In this chapter, we're going to explore how embracing your authenticity leads to true confidence and natural charisma. Why authenticity is the foundation of charisma. People are drawn to authenticity because it's rare. We live in a world that often encourages us to conform, to play it safe, to be what others expect us to be. But when someone shows up as their real self, unfiltered, imperfect, and fully present, it stands out. It's refreshing, and it invites others to do the same. True charisma isn't about impressing others. It's about being genuine. When you're authentic, people can sense it. They're drawn to the realness, to the trustworthiness that comes with honesty. Authenticity creates a foundation of integrity, and that integrity radiates confidence. Here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to change who you are to become charismatic. You don't have to force yourself to adopt behaviors that don't feel natural or try to meet some external standard. Instead, you can cultivate charisma by embracing who you already are and allowing that person to be seen. How embracing authenticity builds confidence. Confidence and authenticity go hand in hand. When you're comfortable being yourself, you're not constantly second-guessing what others think or trying to fit an image. You're grounded in your own values, and that grounding creates a steady kind of confidence. Think about people you admire who exude natural confidence. Chances are they're not trying to impress anyone, they're just being themselves, comfortable with their strengths, honest about their flaws, and unapologetic about their values. That's what makes them compelling. They're confident because they know who they are, and they're comfortable with that. Embracing authenticity helps you feel comfortable in any setting. When you know who you are, you're not constantly adapting to fit others' expectations. You bring your full self to every situation. Speak with conviction. When you communicate from a place of honesty, your words have weight. People can feel the sincerity behind them. Radiate trustworthiness. Authentic people inspire trust. When others sense that you're real, they feel safe opening up to you, which deepens connections. The more you embrace your authenticity, the less you'll feel the need to perform. You'll start to feel at ease in your own skin, which naturally invites others to be at ease around you. The authenticity check. To start cultivating this sense of authenticity, try this simple exercise called the authenticity check. This exercise is designed to help you tune into your core values and identify the qualities that make you unique. It's about reconnecting with who you are beneath the layers of social expectations and self-doubt. Identify your core values. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What values do I want to live by? These might be qualities like kindness, honesty, curiosity, or resilience. Write down 3 to 5 core values that resonate with you. These values are the compass that guides your actions and decisions. Reflect on your unique strengths. Think about the qualities that make you unique. What do people appreciate about you? What do you bring to relationships or situations that feels genuine? Don't worry if they seem simple. Authenticity isn't about grand gestures. It's about small, consistent actions. Write down 3 qualities that feel uniquely you. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment? Take a moment to consider if there are areas in your life where you might be holding back or trying to fit in. Are there situations where you're not fully showing up as yourself? This isn't about criticizing yourself. It's about noticing where there's room to be more authentic. Write down any situations or areas where you'd like to bring more of your real self. This exercise helps you clarify what matters to you and how you can show up more fully in every aspect of your life. When you live in alignment with your values, confidence becomes a natural extension of who you are. You're no longer seeking approval because you're already grounded in your own worth. Building connections through authenticity. Charisma isn't just about how we feel about ourselves, it's about how we make others feel. Authentic people have a gift for creating genuine connections because they're present and open. When you're not trying to impress, you're free to listen, to understand, and to truly connect. Here are a few simple ways to build authentic connections. Listen more than you speak. Charismatic people have a way of making others feel seen and valued. Listening, really listening, is one of the most powerful ways to connect with others. When you're fully present, people feel it, and they respond to that presence. Be curious and open. Approach others with a genuine curiosity. Ask questions, show interest, and be open to new perspectives. Curiosity is disarming. It shows others that you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, but that you truly care. Share authentically. Authenticity is a two-way street. When you're open about your own experiences, especially your challenges, it encourages others to be open with you. Sharing from a place of honesty fosters trust and creates a space for real connection. You don't have to be perfect or put together to connect with others. In fact, the more human you are, the more you're willing to show your real self, the more people will be drawn to you. Authenticity is inherently magnetic. Celebrating your authentic self. It's easy to get caught up in trying to be what others want or expect us to be. But here's something to remember. You are enough, just as you are. Your unique experiences, your values, your quirks, and even your flaws, they all contribute to your charisma. Embracing them isn't just liberating for you, it's inspiring to others. True charisma doesn't come from what you say or how you look. It comes from showing up as you are and allowing yourself to be seen. When you live authentically, you create a sense of confidence that isn't loud or attention-seeking. It's quiet, steady, and deeply compelling. Celebrate your progress so far. You've begun the work of facing your fears and understanding yourself more fully. That's no small feat. Each step you take toward self-acceptance is a step toward the kind of presence that draws people in, not because you're trying to impress, but because you're fully, unapologetically you. Authenticity is the foundation of true charisma. By embracing who you are, living in alignment with your values, and showing up as your real self, you radiate a kind of confidence that resonates with others. You don't need to change or improve yourself to be charismatic. You only need to be yourself. As you continue this journey, remember that building authentic charisma is a process. There will be moments of doubt, times when you question whether being yourself is enough. In those moments, return to the values and strengths you identified in this chapter. They are your anchor. your reminder that you have everything you need within you. In the next chapter, we'll explore practical ways to integrate this authenticity into every part of your life, so you can continue growing and building meaningful connections. Embrace this process with compassion, and remember, the more you are yourself, the more magnetic you become. Chapter 5. Putting it all together, living with the lion. You've come a long way. You've looked inward, explored hidden motivators, faced uncomfortable truths, and embraced your authentic self. This journey isn't always easy. It's one that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to see yourself clearly. But as you've taken each step, you've opened yourself to a life that feels fuller, more real, and aligned with who you truly are. Living with the lion means carrying forward everything you've learned and weaving it into your everyday life. This isn't a one-time transformation. It's an ongoing practice, a choice to live with courage, authenticity, and purpose. You're choosing to show up fully, even when it feels challenging, and to keep growing, even when the path isn't clear. In this chapter, we'll explore practical ways to continue integrating what you've learned. We'll talk about how to nurture this self-awareness, build resilience, and maintain authentic connections. Think of this as the beginning of a new phase, a time to celebrate your growth and keep expanding into your potential. Living with intentional self-reflection. Self-reflection has been a key part of this journey, and it remains an invaluable tool as you move forward. Reflection allows you to stay connected with yourself, to notice changes, and to adjust as you grow. It's a way of checking in with your values, your intentions, and your actions. Consider setting aside time for regular self-reflection. This doesn't need to be a lengthy process. Even a few minutes at the end of each week can help you stay grounded. Here are some questions you might ask yourself during these reflection times. What fears did I face this week? Acknowledge the moments when you showed courage, even if they felt small. Every act of bravery builds resilience. Did I act in alignment with my values? Reflect on whether your actions matched your core beliefs. If not, that's okay. Use it as an opportunity to adjust and move closer to your authentic self. What did I learn about myself? Growth is constant, and there's always something new to discover. Take note of any insights, changes, or areas where you'd like to continue growing. These questions help you maintain a sense of connection to yourself. They remind you that self-awareness is an ongoing process, and that growth happens in moments, decisions, and reflections. Cultivating resilience. Living with authenticity and courage isn't without its challenges. There will be times when doubt creeps in, or when fear tries to pull you back to old patterns. This is where resilience comes in. Resilience is the ability to keep going, to stay connected with your path, even when things feel difficult. Here are a few ways to cultivate resilience as you continue on this journey. Embrace imperfection. Part of resilience is accepting that there will be setbacks. You won't always feel confident or certain, and that's perfectly okay. Progress is rarely a straight line. Embrace the imperfections and keep moving forward, knowing that growth happens in the ebb and flow. Celebrate small wins. Recognize and celebrate every step you take. Facing a fear, speaking up, staying true to your values. Each of these moments matters. They're reminders of your courage, and they reinforce your ability to keep growing. Lean on your support system. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. Share your journey with trusted friends or mentors, people who support you and believe in your potential. They can offer encouragement, perspective, and reminders of your strength when you need them most. Resilience isn't about pushing yourself relentlessly. It's about having the strength to keep going, even if the pace slows or the path changes. Every act of resilience adds to the foundation you're building. Creating meaningful connections. Living with authenticity opens the door to deeper, more fulfilling relationships. When you show up as yourself, you create space for others to do the same. This isn't about having more connections. It's about nurturing relationships that feel real, supportive, and aligned with your values. Here are a few ways to cultivate these meaningful connections. Be present and open. Authentic connections thrive on presence. When you're fully present with others, listening and engaging without judgment, you create an environment where real connection can flourish. Share vulnerably. Don't be afraid to share parts of yourself, especially the imperfect or challenging ones. Vulnerability invites others to be real with you, building trust and deepening the bond. Set boundaries with compassion. Being authentic doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Honor your own needs and limits, and communicate them with kindness. Healthy boundaries help you maintain balance and respect in your relationships. The connections that come from this place of authenticity are ones that uplift and nourish you. They support your growth, inspire you to keep expanding, and remind you that you're not alone on this journey. Making a commitment to growth. Personal growth isn't a destination, it's a lifelong process. The work you've done so far is just the beginning of a journey that will continue to evolve. This doesn't mean constantly striving for more. Instead, it's about staying open to change, learning, and deepening your connection with yourself. Consider making a commitment to yourself, a promise to keep growing, even when it's challenging. This commitment doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It might look like setting aside time each month to reflect on your progress, seeking out new experiences, or reading books that inspire you. It might mean practicing patience with yourself or returning to your values whenever you feel uncertain. This commitment is a reminder that you're in this for the long haul, that you're choosing to honor your journey and the growth that comes with it. Embrace it as a gentle but steady intention to keep moving forward, whatever that looks like for you. Exercise. Writing a personal growth manifesto. To help solidify your commitment, try writing a short personal manifesto. A manifesto is a statement of intention, a declaration of what you want to stand for and embody in your life. It's a reminder of who you are and who you're becoming. Here's how to create your manifesto. Reflect on your values and intentions. Think about the qualities, values, and actions you want to embody. What matters most to you? What kind of life are you choosing to create? Write it out. Keep it simple and focused. Your manifesto might be just a few sentences, a declaration of what you stand for and how you want to live. Write it in a way that feels true and inspiring to you. Revisit it regularly. Place your manifesto somewhere you'll see it often, like your journal or a note on your phone. Let it be a source of encouragement, a reminder of your intentions and the growth you're committed to. Here's an example of what a personal growth manifesto might look like. I choose to live with courage, authenticity, and compassion. I am committed to growing, to honoring my values, and to facing challenges with resilience. I embrace my imperfections and trust in my journey. I am becoming more of who I am meant to be, one step at a time. Your manifesto is yours alone, so feel free to make it as personal and specific as you like. Let it be a guide, a source of strength that supports you on this path. Living with the lion means embracing the courage to keep growing. It means showing up authentically, connecting deeply, and honoring the values that guide you. This journey of self-awareness and courage isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about being willing to take each step with an open heart and a clear mind. As you continue on this path, remember that growth is an ongoing process. There will be moments of doubt, times when you feel uncertain or afraid. But with each small act of courage, each moment of self-reflection, you're building a life that's true to who you are. You're creating a foundation of resilience, confidence, and connection that will support you in everything you do. The lion in the room isn't something to fear. It's a reminder of your strength, of the incredible journey you've chosen to take. Embrace it as a companion on your path, a symbol of the courage, authenticity, and power that already exist within you. The journey doesn't end here. In fact, it's only just beginning. With every step forward, you're moving closer to the person you're becoming, to the life that's waiting for you. Trust in yourself, honor your growth, and remember, you are exactly where you need to be. Conclusion: embracing the lion for life. You've reached the end of this book, but the journey you've embarked on is only beginning. Along the way, you've faced hidden motivators, uncovered the roots of your fears, learned to embrace your authentic self, and discovered the power of living with courage. This journey has asked a lot of you, but you've shown up with resilience, honesty, and an open heart. The lion in the room, your fears, your challenges, your deepest truths, no longer has to be something to avoid or suppress. Instead, it's a symbol of strength, a reminder of everything you're capable of when you step into the fullness of who you are. By confronting your lion, you've learned that real courage isn't about eliminating fear. It's about choosing to move forward, to grow, even in the face of uncertainty. Embracing the lion means embracing yourself, all parts of you, without apology. It means living authentically, with a deep sense of alignment between your values and your actions. It means showing up in your relationships, your work, and your life with integrity and openness. This isn't a one-time transformation, but an ongoing commitment to self-awareness, to resilience, and to growth. What lies ahead? As you move forward, remember that growth is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when fear resurfaces, when the path feels unclear, and when self-doubt whispers in your ear. In those moments, remind yourself of everything you've discovered, the courage you've built, the self-awareness you've cultivated, and the values you hold are all tools that you can rely on. You have the power to revisit the practices in this book whenever you need them. Whether it's reflecting on hidden motivators, challenging fear-based thoughts, or reconnecting with your core values, these tools are here to support you, to help you stay grounded in who you are and what matters most to you. Carrying the lion forward. The beauty of this journey is that it doesn't require you to be perfect or have all the answers. Living with the lion is about progress, about embracing the process of becoming. With each small step you take, each act of courage, you're choosing to honor the path you're on. You're choosing to grow, to face yourself honestly, and to live a life that feels true. This process may lead you in unexpected directions. It might deepen your relationships, inspire you to take on new challenges, or even change the way you see yourself. Whatever comes, trust that you have within you the strength and clarity to navigate it. You've already proven that by coming this far. Let the lion be your ally. Let it remind you that fear is a natural part of growth and that true strength is found in facing it. Let it be a guide that leads you to deeper authenticity, to more meaningful connections, and to a life that feels fully aligned with who you are. A final reflection. In the end, the lion in the room isn't here to intimidate you. It's here to show you what you're capable of. It's here to remind you of the courage, resilience, and potential that are already within you. The real magic happens when you choose to see this lion not as an obstacle, but as a doorway to a more empowered life. So, as you close this book, take a moment to acknowledge your journey. You've faced difficult truths, explored your deepest fears, and come to understand the power of living authentically. This is a testament to your strength, to your willingness to grow, and to the incredible person you are becoming. The path ahead is yours to create. Move forward with the confidence that comes from knowing yourself. Embrace the lion, embrace the journey, and above all, embrace the truth that you are enough, just as you are. Thank you for allowing this book to be a part of your journey. May it serve as a guide and a companion as you continue to live with courage, authenticity, and an open heart.